Monty Domingo. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Adolfi.
It's good to have you. So, Monty, it's a pleasure to have you today.
Mhm.
First of all, I want to congratulate you for Manchester winning today.
Yeah,
So you guys are in the finals. How do you feel about that?
it was nerve-wracking. Oh boy, I, I don't know. I was in church and checking my phone here and there, and I had to leave to the bathroom multiple times, and being up three and then giving away the three goals, and just
Yeah,
to that point where uh, people nearly got heart attack as a
I
result.
know.
Anyway, but thank God we got the result at the end. You know,
hmm
yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's good though. That's good. I was rooting for you guys.
yeah.
So, anyways, Monty, I got to know you when I moved to Ottawa about 2019,
Mhm.
and I had an interest in joining the community, the Sierra Leone community in Ottawa, right? And that's when I got to know a lot more about you. At that time, I was vice president, and we were at a very critical stage wherein um, I had to become and take over the mantle and leadership of the community. And then we started having conversations, and I got to know you personally. But before that, you were the former president of the Sierra Leone Community Association, and you've been president for a very long time. So your wealth and knowledge of the Sierra Leonean community is goes way beyond, right? So I have heard a few stories about the history of the Sierra Leonean community, but I don't know the full picture. And I want us to start a conversation today because I want to know what's the history of the Sierra Leone Community Association in Ottawa and how it all started.
Well, a group of us came to Ottawa way back in 2000, the year 2000, just after the January 6th event.
Mm-hmm.
So most of us started doing paperwork to move over to Canada. So when we came, uh, apparently there was need for us to connect with Sierra Leoneans in Ottawa. But then Ottawa was more or less like a Caucasian community. But luckily for us, there were two Sierra Leoneans, late Cecilia Haslett and Nomusu Kone, and then also TK and her mom, and and then John Manzare, the current. So and Justina Abaji also was here before then. Uh, so we need to understand that there was a Sierra Leone community, but it was called the Sierra Leone Descendants Association, and that died down. And it happened that the community was now only managed by Cecilia. Cecilia was the only face of the Sierra Leonean community. In 2001, Canada identified Sierra Leone as a source country for immigration because of the war. And in immigration relationships, when they say the country is a source country, is at that point Sierra Leone was now a country where anybody coming from Sierra Leone will automatically qualify to be a refugee who can have the status of a permanent resident. Because David Pratt, who was assigned as the country representative to assist Sierra Leone in meeting that goal, he pursued that for immigration to identify Sierra Leone as a source country. So, and there was need for us now to come together to form what they call partnership agreement holders so that we can sponsor Sierra Leoneans to come. And apparently, we didn't have any community in Ottawa because there was no more Sierra Leone Descendants Association, and Cecilia was the only face. So we partnered with some guys in Toronto. Mohamed Bangura, who was former information minister under the APC, who is now a parliamentarian, was heading an organization called Sierra Leone Canada Watch. So we used Sierra Leone Canada Watch and collaborated with Winnipeg and Edmonton to push that envelope forward. And it was after that experience that we decided to work on reigniting the community and bringing the community together.
Okay.
And those of us that moved that were late Mr. Cummings, Irene's dad, the mom, Festus Mina, Bintu, and Ahmed came along, Ibrahim Conte. And so we all came together. We said, let's push this forward and get the community. And so in 2005, and that is when we actually had started these meetings of the community. And then in 2007, we launched the community with a new name of the Sierra Leone Community Association, Ottawa. Because the Sierra Leone Community, Sierra Leone Descendants Association was still out there, which we could not take.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. A lot of names that I'm very familiar with. But this is a good history because it's good to kind of like get a recap because I didn't know all of this. So it's good that you kind of told me this. So Monty, how long were you in the leadership position for?
When we started, I think we started with Bintu as the president because Mr. Cummings and I, we decided to be like advisors to the group.
Okay.
To say, let's give it to the young people. So Bintu was the president, Festus was the secretary, and then later on, Festus left, and then Ibrahim became the secretary, and I became the president. And
Okay.
that was like around 2009. Because when we inaugurated in 2007, Bintu was the president of the Community Association.
I didn't know that. The Bintu was the first.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Okay, then you were second,
Yes.
and you were president.
And then I
onward.
there until 2018.
Okay, 2018. So that's close to 9 years.
Yeah.
Wow. And that 9 years of a lot of experience. And I think that's what I want to talk to you about because I have to tell you, Monty, that filling your shoes is not easy, you know? I feel talking with you about leadership within the community is not only going to help me, but it's going to shed a lot of light on what it's like to actually lead in the community. So I just wanted to know, with 9 years of experience, what were your challenges? Like in the beginning, did you face any challenges? Because it was a new organization, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it means you got to bring people together.
Yeah.
How challenging that was, just bringing the community together up to the point that you even did your first activities or your first, independence celebration. How was the beginning of your presidency like?
In any community, I think uh, the first question people will ask is like, what is India for me? Right? And so putting the community together and then identify young people to lead it, which was like being two investors. Uh, and then Ahmed was the organizing secretary right there and then. Uh, it's kind of difficult because everybody has different expectations when it comes to community organizations. But as a leader, for you to be able to jump over that hoop, you need to understand your community. You need to get to know your people, and you need to get to understand what are the issues that currently exist that may or may not break the organization apart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only when you are able to identify those that you'll be able to support the community in terms of what people are looking for. As I mentioned at the time, you remember the war in Sierra Leone ended in 2002, right?
Yeah.
And then, but Sierra Leone was still a source country after that. And so people coming together, the interest there was people want to bring their loved ones.
Okay.
Okay, they want to sponsor their loved ones to come. So there was something in there for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also uh, the need for immigration support was there. I mean, was there for people to take advantage of. And so when once that was done, then myself and the team, we are able to sell the idea to the general membership that we have all come from Sierra Leone with no relatives here. So our family now is the community around us, Sierra Leone community around us.
Yeah.
So we should put aside all our differences and build a family of ours. Remember, no man is an island.
True. True.
And that was the genesis of our organizations. And plus, also, looking at what may divide us as a community, we look at politics.
Yeah.
Politics is one thing that can divide us if we don't take control of it. And that is why it is part of our DNA in Ottawa that we don't discuss politics, Sierra Leone politics in the Sierra Leone Community Association. Even in all the groups that we have, there is no political discussions there. We all belong to political parties. We all have people that we support, but we have different groups, channels where we can go and leverage our support, not with the Sierra Leone Community Association.
That's correct.
And also timing of our events. We had to create standard. People who come from Toronto, they know that the expectation we have in Ottawa is that they start their programs on time. If we say the program is going to start at 7 o'clock, regardless of if it is just two people in there, that program is going to start.
Yeah.
Because if you come after and you see all the food is gone, you don't have food to eat. Next time when they say there's an event, you will come early because we have to respect the time of our invitees. We have to respect if they have decided to put together 1 hour to come and support us from this period to this period, we
Mm-hmm.
should respect those times that they have decided to give to us. So, and as a leader also, when you have identified the needs of the community and you have identified leaders or you have identified people that have the drive to move the community, then you can support the community. When I was the leader, I had to do a lot of immigration recommendations.
Okay. Which is quite different from now.
Immigration letters for people.
Uh-huh.
And I became like a signature reference for people looking for jobs because the time that they put into the community event, I consider that as work, even though they are volunteering.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm doing reference letters, I'm using that. The,
Yeah.
the expertise that they put into the organization, I'm using that to support them get employment. And also the one thing that you want to build on as a leader, keeping people's business private, because that is what breaks most other organizations. I had a Ghanaian lady who wanted to come and join the Sierra Leone Community Association. I said, why would you want to come to join the Sierra Leone Community Association? She said the Ghanaian community, a whole bunch of gossips. I said, what makes Sierra Leone community different? You come here, you're still going to have people that will
Yep.
go. So what you want to do is stay above the gossip. You don't gossip about other people's business. Then you can continue to have a stable community.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I have been in a situation as the leader. I have counseled family members. I have counseled kids who were about to go down the road, but getting influence from their friends.
Mm-hmm.
Taking kids to Tim Hortons, sitting with them and encouraging them. I went to one's wedding recently in Toronto, and that was all he could tell his partner about Uncle Monty. So that is what it takes to be a leader for a community organization. Remember, community association is a voluntary stuff. People,
Exactly.
people are not paid.
Exactly.
And so therefore, how you will treat an employee as a leader is different from how you will treat a volunteer in a community organization.
Yeah. Exactly. And Monty, that's why I just want to jump in here and as you were saying, it's all voluntary, right? Everybody, it's because of you want to be part of, or because you have love for the Sierra Leonean community, or you somehow you benefit in some one way or the other from the community, but of course you don't get paid in any shape or form. So that's what I wanted to know, because like if you're in a workplace, you're getting paid. Your manager, you're getting paid. You have employees that you mentor or you're in charge of. Everybody gets paid, so everybody's working towards a common goal. But in a community, it's just voluntary, right? So what difficulties, or was it easy for you? Because like it might be different in different cases, but getting people to work together when it's all voluntary at the end of the day.
You have to be out there as the leader and show that you cannot relent.
Mhm.
And I believe that I know we need numbers, but I also believe that you can have one or two people transform an organization. Some people don't want to be part of the planning process, but they will always come at the end when the planning is done and it's time to have the fun.
Yeah.
Okay? And you need to have that at the back of your mind. Um, you will set yourself up for failure in a community organization if your expectation is to have everybody come on board.
Hmm.
So, what you do, you take advantage of a few that are on board and use them to make the change.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I have to say that I've been working with great individuals within the community. Like the Sierra Leone community in Ottawa has a tremendous, resourceful people, incredible people that it's been an honor working with them. I mean, and these guys and women, they go a long way, in coming together, working together, and pushing the community ahead, right? So I can relate with what you're saying for sure.
Yeah, and some people also, uh, you have the critics who will always be looking at what goes wrong. Okay,
Mhm.
sometimes you also realize those type of people in community organizations, they are your greatest support when it comes to the time when you need people. They are the ones that will sell the tickets,
Mhm.
and they are the ones that will invite more people.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, as I said, that is why you need to know your community. And this is the approach you will use in a community organization. Unlike work, where you are as a leader in a workplace, you have your tools, right?
Mhm.
Even though you can still coach, you can still mentor, but you have a limit. How long am I going to coach you for this? How long am I going to mentor you for this? You get
Yeah.
to a point where you move on to discipline, right?
You have HR that can
Yeah,
fire you if you don't get
yeah.
get in line.
It becomes a performance issue, right?
Of course.
But in a community organization, the performance issue doesn't play. You know,
No.
you're still going to need the people even though they have not been performing, right?
Yep.
You have to keep encouraging them because you have to have the community going. So it's not like you're going to hire somebody from outside to come,
No.
you know.
Exactly.
So
So I
yeah.
think it takes skill set, it takes patience, it takes a lot of uh, you know, mentoring as well. You just have to find a way of bringing the best out of people.
Mhm.
Like in my situation, in my experience, I feel like sometimes when you give people the authority to take on ownership of a task, you
Mhm.
know, it gives them purpose
Mhm.
within the community. It gives them purpose to feel part of the team.
Mhm.
Uh, that brings out the best out of them.
Mhm.
That's in my own experience. But Monty, another thing I wanted to ask you about. You always, whenever we chit chat, sometimes you always give me this encouraging statement. You always say the Sierra Leonean community is a willing crowd. What, in your own word, what do you mean by that? Break it down for us.
Yeah. Uh, that phrase, "a willing crowd," comes from the fact that you will never see the people come to your meetings.
Hmm.
You will never see anybody respond to your messages in the social media groups that you created, right?
Yeah.
But when you need them, you take that phone and call them. They are going to respond to the needs that you want them to respond to. That is why I always tell you that you have a very willing crowd. You just have to know how to manage the crowd. That phone call is very important because when you call someone, the person feels important.
Hmm.
The person feels that, yes, my community knows about me, my community is seeking my interest. It's not just about wanting something from them. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, and then, so when you call, you also want to make sure you keep the call professional. You don't just get into the gossips of the community, people's business. Somebody wants to have that conversation with you. You know, you can
Yeah.
call to check on somebody, or you can call and say, "Oh, this thing is coming up, and I really need your help." And that is why I always refer to the community being a willing crowd.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh,
but they
yeah.
have they have to feel respected. and then they have to feel wanted by the personal connections, either by a phone call, by email, by text. They will respond. You with right now you think you'll be getting frustrated for May 4th, but, but you wait and see how full your hall is going to be with people that you've never seen until they tell you this is Sierra Leone, this is Sierra Leone. Because you have responded to one of the ask of the community from time immemorial. We have been in this hall for a long time. Let's move to somewhere bigger. And you have responded to that. So let's see how that is going to come out, right?
Yeah, I hope the response is really good, because yes, we did get the feedback, we responded. You're right. There is some frustrations there because when trying to get you're trying to organize things, you're gonna get hiccups along the way, but we're trying to manage that.
Mhm.
But yes, I'm looking forward to a big, massive crowd. I'm looking for almost every Sierra Leonean within Ottawa and the Gatineau region to come and celebrate with us that day.
Mhm.
Yes, and I can relate with what you're saying, because I think 3 years ago or 2 years ago, you told me this statement for the first time, and that was the first time that we were trying to organize our first independence. And you remember that night there was no power. That was the night that the storm knocked out power in Ottawa, and I was so surprised. That memory is gonna live with me for the rest of my life. I
We
was
all
so surprised.
we all use our phone lights to have fun
Exact,
tonight. And we
exactly.
stayed there till when? 12:01?
Till 12, 1 o'clock, and we were just hanging out,
Yeah.
chillaxing, talking. People even knew that there was no power, and they still turned up, and we just had fun. And I think that's the power of community, and that's the power of who we are, as Sierra Leoneans.
Yeah.
Our willingness to always show up for each other when we are called upon. So I can definitely agree with what you said, that we are a willing crowd. Sometimes, yes, it's frustrating. I have to agree with you that,
Mhm.
like, we have meetings. It's just the three of us, just the five of us. Yeah, sometimes it gets to me because I do want people to come, give their opinion, give this, because when we are in a meeting, you get the feel of the community. You get what the need is, right? So when we go couple of meetings and very few people showing up, yeah, you kind of feel like, oh, well, I'm not getting the right pulse of the community. I'm not getting the right feedback from the community. But at the same time, you still gotta go on with what's on the agenda. You still gotta plan, hoping that you're still meeting the needs of the community, and hopefully, and I'm happy with such the team that I have. Great people who also have connections with the community, getting feedback from the community, and we're making progress. And I'm happy with that. So right
So
on point.
just to add to what you say, uh, when you have a community that frustrates you, like what you're experiencing,
Mhm.
and I'm taking you back to my first statement talking about you get to know your people, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget, like we are all immigrants,
Yes.
Sierra Leone community, and some of us have come here at later stages of our lives.
Oh, that's correct. That's right.
So we have to work very hard to make ends meet and
Hmm.
to match up with other things, right?
Oh, for sure. For
And
sure.
we have two homes we are supporting. We have our home here, and then we have back home.
Correct.
So people invest their time to make money.
Hmm.
And so as a leader, you have to be dynamic, having that understanding. You have to create avenues. So when I, as a leader, when I realized that I can't get people to come to meetings because either people they're working double shifts, they have to go home and sleep, they have to work tonight. That is when I decided to go to, it was not Zoom, it was another channel I was using for meetings.
Okay. Which one?
Yeah.
Do you
So,
remember?
yeah, so that people can attend meetings online instead of coming in person. So I started getting some good signs for that. And then also it came to elections. You can't even get people to come to elections. So I decided to put election on SurveyMonkey. So we'll do the elections and then send a link for people to vote. And then at one meeting, in-person meeting, that is where we'll set up the computer and try to give people opportunity to vote and then count the votes from there in person. And then the results will all be tabulated on SurveyMonkey.
Okay.
It's the same with the needs of events that we put together. I will put in the SurveyMonkey what the community needs in terms of food items, what the community need in terms of drinks, just so that people don't have to call me or people don't have to come in person to contribute. They can still contribute, giving them these resources. So that is how I became very dynamic to get them involved. Did I succeed? Not 100%, but at least 80% of what I did in terms of being dynamic succeeded in having people respond the way I wanted them to respond. And that is why when I was leaving, my last speech was that to have somebody step up. And nobody could step up to take the leadership of the organization whilst I was leaving. And I became very emotional because I felt I failed them because I think I did not create a leader in the community. Because if I had created a leader, somebody would have emerged. Because everybody looked up to me that the leader would do it. Oh, Monty's going to do it. His wife will support him, they will do it, right? So that was my biggest emotional side of me leaving, when I could not have anybody to step up to take up the mantle of the leadership of the organization.
Yeah.
I tried in the process. I created a position for the director of youth affairs, which is Maria too. She was in high school, very young. I said, okay, let me start encouraging these young people to take over. Right? Now that she's in university, I have been talking to her again to actually get involved.
That she definitely needs to.
Yeah, so she's in the group, I think. She's in the group. So you guys have to begin to build up on those young people so that you don't end up in the same boat as me. There will be no leader to take over.
No. We don't want that. We don't want that. Definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah. Definitely not. So, Monty, you know, now that, as you said, well, now that you said you didn't create a leader when you were leaving, but you know, looking at fast forward a couple of years, now we are rebuilding. You know, we tried, and I have to say, we're using some of your practices, some of your systems, some of your processes that you put in place. We came in and we tried that, great success. We're trying to improve on that as we go. But now looking all through the years, once you became president, all the way up to this point, how do you feel about your legacy and all the work that you put into the community?
Well, I feel proud of you guys. Especially, I mean, you have Abdul. Abdul was part of the organization when I was the president. So at least you have somebody amongst your executive uh, that was part of uh, what I was leading. Um, but I'm glad that you guys came along and you also saw the need for an organization to continue. And I'm so proud of what you have done so far. And one encouragement I will give you is that don't let uh, the non-participation of members in activities derail uh, your determination in supporting the community. Let that be a testament to your drive, and let it be something you'll be proud of along the line as you continue to support other organizations. Okay. The few things that I took from it, I used to do, I used to have education sessions for the kids.
Okay.
There's cultural awareness, Sierra Leone cultural awareness. And so the reason I was doing that was that our children were leaving the community, establishing relationships in other communities because they felt that everybody else in the community is their relative because they call them uncle, auntie. So uncles' kids are their cousins, and
Yeah.
cousins.
Mhm.
And so again, trying to know your community, right? So I look at that and I say, wait a minute, we need to have a cultural sessions for our kids whenever we have independence. So we'll have the key in the morning and I'll have sessions with the kids up to 5 o'clock before we start our event. So one day I taught them uh, the difference between a social uncle and a biological uncle, social auntie and a biological auntie. And then I said to them, your biological auntie or uncle is your mom's and dad's blood related
Mhm.
uncles and aunts, whereas your social auntie and social uncles are uncles or aunties that grew up together with your dad or your mom, or that came from the same community and went to the same school. And so they have established relationships, friendships that have lasted for years. So, and in our culture, anybody that is older than you call, let's introduce somebody to you and say, oh, meet with Uncle this, Uncle Odolphin. I said, is Uncle Odolphin my biological uncle or my social uncle? And then, and then everybody comes to me and say, Monty, you have created a problem in our household. The kids are not going to ask, you know? Um, yeah, so those are some of the things that when I think of those kind of stuff, I feel satisfied. And I'm sure with you also, when once your tenure is up, you will have satisfaction in terms of what you have achieved. You have taken a dead organization and then you reignited it and you have brought it up to this point. So
Yeah.
that was satisfaction for you at the end.
Yeah, exactly. I think I would like to be thought of as somebody who helped with the rebuild, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and of course, I would love to hand over to somebody else who could continue
Mhm,
building on what we have built. I mean, we still have a lot to do,
mhm,
but as you said, we have a vibrant association now. You know,
mhm,
we are coming together, we're doing things together as a community.
mhm.
So definitely, I think I would like to be thought of somebody who helped with the rebuild of the community for sure.
Yeah.
So Mantik, fun question: what are your fond memories? What where Neil, can you give me like one or two fond memories when you were leading?
Um, well, we had there was a year when we had cultural events, and then we had people dancing in the newspaper. How do you call it? Patriotic Vanguard.
Okay.
And everybody came on board. They have their affairs, and yeah, that was a good moment. And even David Pratt was in that group dancing.
Yeah.
And the second one really is with these kids when I'm doing these workshops with the kids, and we're talking about the cultural differences and
Mm-hmm.
asking about, is that person my biological uncle or my social uncle? Is that my bio? He said, oh, now, so I can date auntie's daughter, right? Yeah. And all those kids are now grown ups, right? They are grown, they are in grade 12s now, or some of them are in university now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But those are thrilling moments that I can relate to.
Okay.
But yeah, so, and probably also when we did the backpack project
The backpack project. What was that?
in 2010, we had a scholarship program though.
Mm-hmm.
We are giving scholarship to kids in Sierra Leone, and we are also supplying school materials. So we did a backpack
Mm.
project uh, when Ibrahim and Matilda went to Sierra Leone and disbursed them to different schools. We had 4 schools, one in Eastern Province, one in Northern Province, one in the South, and one in Western area. And then we also gave scholarship to kids. We are going to continue with that because we also wanted to apply for charity status with Revenue Canada. And for you to apply for charity status, you have to show evidence of charity work that you've been doing. So we have
Okay.
all pictures of all those events. We have even videos
Mm.
those events. So I have them all, which I can give to you guys someday when you guys are ready. We have plaques, awards that we won for being the most outstanding Sierra Leone organization that is supporting education in Sierra Leone. So, like, those are our moments. We used to travel from here to the US from the invitation of the ambassador.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been there. Ibrahim has been there. Matilda has been there. My wife and I. So, yeah, those are fun memories of those travels and also of what we did and achieved together.
Nice. Yeah, definitely would like to have those pictures to put in an archive, so people can always go back and reminisce on the good days and
Yeah,
times.
I'll definitely bring them over on the 4th also, or even
Okay,
before that, we can connect.
okay, for sure. So, Monty, you're now in Cornwall. You moved to Cornwall. I guess it's a much more quieter town. So, how's life in Cornwall? And I know you still keep in touch with the community, Sierra Leone community. So, I guess Cornwall now is an extension of Ottawa due to you now. But what keeps you still connected? What keeps you still connected with the community?
Well, in the first place, there is no Sierra Leone community. I think we are the only Sierra Leoneans here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there's no community here. And I strongly believe in belonging to um, a community because no man is an island. Um, I need to have a family, and my extended family is this Sierra Leone community, uh, but there's none here. So that's why I stayed connected with the organization in Ottawa. Cornwall is a very nice place. In fact, my wife was the first to buy into Cornwall. It's a small community. You fill your tank. It takes about 2 weeks before you can put gas again.
Lucky you.
Uh, the farthest place you can go in Cornwall, it takes you about 15 minutes. So there's not much driving. Uh,
Yeah.
quiet community. People consider it like a retirement town. I remember somebody asking me if I'm retired, like Mr. Cornwall, right? So, yeah, so we're still here, and I still keep involved in the community in Ottawa.
Yeah, yeah. I know you're always. I always say the community is your baby.
Yeah,
So so I know you still have that, good intention. You still care about what's going on. You
yeah,
still care about the people in Ottawa. And I have to say, that strikes well with me, and I respect that and I appreciate that of you.
yeah.
Did you see the eclipse? Total blackout eclipse?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh, actually, Ahmed was here.
Yeah,
Yeah, Ahmed was
I mean, Ahmed didn't tell me that.
here.
All right.
he, he came here. He came here, and I went to Brockville. So he was here with my wife to watch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Oh,
I still have my glasses, which probably we're going to donate. I
yeah,
think the South America will be having eclipse next year, so
yeah. I have mine too.
we need to donate these glasses to them.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But in Cornwall, Monty, do you have any? Are you still involved with the community in Cornwall? Cornwall, do you
Uh,
volunteer
there
your
is
any
there
time?
is there is an organization for a Black community. It's called the African Caribbean and International Association of Eastern Ontario.
Hmm.
Because there is no specific Sierra Leone community organization here, that is why I joined that organization, because I thought I still have what it takes to support a community organization and to be so with them. I am their project lead. I write projects for them, but we are yet to have the structures to actually attract the fundings.
Okay.
But I just did a report yesterday with regards to what our challenges are as a project team and what we need to put in place for us to be able to attract funding. So,
Yeah, and I think the Sierra Leonean community here in Ottawa, we're for sure going to need that skill set of yours
yeah,
with time. So
yeah,
I'm sure we'll talk about that some other time.
yeah.
So Monty, let's go to the fun part.
Okay.
Yeah, as you know, you have to go through my rapid fire questions, but I only have five for you today. So because I have a lot of respect for you, so I have to go easy on you a little bit. So you ready? You have 1 second for an answer. So let me know when you're ready.
Yeah.
All right. First question. So the FA Cup final is going to be on May 25th between Manchester United and Man City United. Man City, exactly. Predict the score.
2-1 Manchester United.
Why? Why do
Because,
you think Manchester is going to beat Man City?
yep,
That's your belief.
yep,
And you're going to stick by it.
2-1.
Okay. Locked. I know you love your Mende culture. If you were to teach me any phrase in Mende, apart from Kainwena, Kaingoma, and Bise, what phrase would you teach me?
BBA.
Bimbiye,
BBA.
Bimbiye,
BBA.
BBA,
Yeah, BBA.
BBA.
Yeah.
What what does what does that mean?
What is your name?
Oh, BBA. Okay, nice.
BBA.
BBA.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Favorite city in Freetown?
Kenema.
Why Kenema?
Because it's a diamond ferrous area.
Diamond?
Yeah.
Oh, but you visited, right?
Pardon?
You visited.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I went to primary school in Kenema.
Oh, okay.
My
Okay. So
mom is from Kenema.
that's where the love for Kenema
Yeah.
started.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so 3 words to describe the Sierra Leone Community Association.
Very resilient community.
Nice, I like that. All right, final one. 3 things on your bucket list.
Hope. Um, get more grandkids.
Okay.
Get to travel with my wife.
Any place in particular, or
Probably Jamaica.
yeah, love Jamaica.
And then want to be able to support my grandkid up to university.
That's a good thing. Those are good things on the bucket list for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this was good answers. I don't have anything to say about it. All perfect. So, Monty, anyways, it's been a pleasure having you here today to just talk about the Sierra Leonean community and what it means to you. And I've never said this to you, but I want to say that I appreciate the 10 years or 9 years or how many years you put into the community, and you build something for us, the young ones, to inherit, I would say, because we're all Sierra Leoneans, to inherit, to work on, and to build, and to pass it on.
Mhm.
So you left something for us. You left a legacy for us. And I just want to say thank you for all that you've done in the community and all that you continue to do in the community. So that's my final word to you, sir. And I just want to say much love and appreciation to you.
Thank you very much. And probably I will say the same about you. And I just want to thank you for stepping up and for holding on regardless of all the frustrations. And sometimes I can feel the frustration in your path, but I think you also have the courage uh, with regards to the support that you get from your team. And I want to say you are doing a great job, and I only hope you will use those frustrations as an opportunity for you to do more and achieve greater things.
Thanks for those kind words. And for sure, I'll take your advice and let it sink in and work on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Monty.
Most welcome. Come on.